What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the best channel on YouTube. Today, we got another segment of Podcast Sunday, where me and guests speak on different topics about self-improvement and motivation, personal-wise and business-wise, while also providing some fire gameplay. Appreciate you watching, and let's get into it. Welcome back to another episode of Podcast Sunday. Back on our series, 10 different ways to help you find your purpose. And today we're going to just be hitting on number 7. This is going to be a little quick little episode today. First off, as always, I want to say welcome back to Terrence.
Thanks for having me again.
Sure, always.
Just want to be good.
Yeah, definitely. So without further ado, we'll just get into it. Like I said, we're only going to be doing one today, so it'll be a quick one, but it's still going to be very good. So number 7, we're on, which is from Torben Platzer. His thing is find your own path, not your friends' families. A little bit about Torben, co-founder and CEO of personal branding agency TPA Media Group, founder of business education program Self-Made, and host of German podcast Self-Made. All right, so find your own path, not your friends or family. Most people are randomly thrown into their careers because a friend introduced them to an opportunity or their parents knew someone. The education system doesn't show us all our options, such as the incredible opportunities created by the internet, so we have to educate ourselves. Research existing businesses to look for trends. Identify work you think you might like. Try it for a few months and then reflect on whether it fits your lifestyle and you can do it for years. Don't worry about the results because you won't have many yet. Short-term cash doesn't matter anyway. The long-term does. Like Gary Vee says, close your eyes until you're 29. You've got time to figure this out. With an interest becomes a passion that aligns with your talent. You have a chance at a fulfilling life because you get to do something every day that doesn't feel like work. There was a lot in that one. So you can start off.
Yeah, so it's actually interesting because like the title of what he is saying is a completely different conversation than like what he speaks about.
Yeah.
But I want to like touch on both. And like when he was talking about identify what works for you, try it for a few months and reflect, I immediately thought about Gary Vee, completely forgetting that he actually quotes Gary Vee in his little blurb there. So that's so funny how he like quoted Gary Vee like 2 lines down. And I immediately thought about when we from part 1 when we talked about Gary's trying different things. But I agree with what he says for the most part. Like when it comes to careers and sometimes we're being forced to do some different things, and I mean you can speak on that as far as you and your family business when you speak next. But I think he's right when it comes to doing what makes you happy, trying out what makes you happy at the end of the day, and striving to be able to do something so fulfilling that you don't feel like you're working. So I agree 100% with that point, and what he says there, and just doing what you enjoy and what makes you happy, and trying those different things out so that you could ultimately get to the point where you're living the dream. And to the other point, based on his title, like what I thought about when he said find your own path, not your friends or families, one thing that he didn't mention that I immediately thought about was just the social pressures of doing certain jobs. I know one of the biggest pressures in Asian communities is like to be a doctor, or if you're not a doctor or a lawyer, you're a failure. Or even in like not even like Asian. I've heard that in Asian households, but like also in regular, other cultures, it's like, we especially immigrant families. They bring you to America, and they want you to be super successful, and what they deem as successful is doctor, lawyer, very successful businessman
Yeah.
or something that you have to go to school for a billion, gajillion years to do and you know, be successful at,
Yeah.
versus if you tell your immigrant parent that you want to do YouTube videos or you want to do certain high risk jobs where you know you have to put in a lot of effort to really make it, you know,
Yeah.
like a photography or an art or YouTube or something in the creative space, acting.
Yeah.
They'll look at you crazy, like, oh, that's not a real job. Or,
Yeah. Yeah.
So it takes a lot of effort to be like, hey, I'm finding my own path, not what you set for me, or
Yeah.
not what my friends think is cool,
Yeah.
or my family thinks is successful, and just really being self-aware to know that, hey, this is what I want, and I'm going to do it, and even if I fail at it, not feeling guilty or not feeling, you know, like you're gonna have any resentment towards anyone, just for doing that, you know. Gary also says, you know, all the time that like you're you know, he gives the example of, you know, the kid, he always has a kid come up to him and says, hey, my mom wants me to go to school, but I don't want to. I want to start my own business. And he says, your mom's going to love you regardless. You know, obviously, if you're living under her roof, you have to do certain things and abide by certain rules. But your mom might be, in the short term, you know, mad at you. But if you become successful and she sees that you're happy and you're making money and you're able to support yourself, she's going to love you regardless of whether you're, you know, the stereotypical job she deems as successful or not. So I think that's the biggest thing, just understanding that in the long run, that perspective that you have by others and how other people view you is short term. But when it comes to long term and your long term happiness, it's what makes you happy. And doing what you deem is the right thing to do.
Exactly. So I mean, definitely, I just want to say before, so I like how you had said how they're gonna love you regardless, but even if you're not in that situation where, like you said, like there's a lot of pressure in like the Asian communities where you can get like disowned for not being this or stuff like that, you have to realize that your life is your life, and if you don't do what you love, you're gonna regret it at the end of the day. So you just have to make sure that you put your happiness before the approval of your family. Hopefully, after time, they'll come around. But if you don't do what makes you happy, then you only have one life to live. I'm just say that. So you can't hit the reset button. You can't go back and change. You just have to every day make sure you're striving to do what makes you happy, and just being in that, regardless of the what's the word? Hate or the negative influences from your family.
And just like one quick point before I forget, that's like related to that topic you just talked about, was just sometimes people don't understand what you want to do because they're just not educated or ignorant to the fact of something. Like you could be, you know, he talks about social media and different platforms that are arising now, and you know, social media has created new rules, new platforms, and new opportunities, new jobs. So for somebody that's uneducated in that area, they might not know the potential, and they may look at you crazy.
Exactly.
So it's important for you on the other end, you know, don't just say like, oh, my parents are crazy, I just want to ignore them. You know, take the time to educate them if you can. On, you know, obviously they have to be willing to listen and understanding, but take the time to educate them on the field. You know, if this is a growing field, show them things that prove that this is a growing field. If this is something that you feel you have an opportunity to do, sit down with them and discuss with them the importance of what you see as your passion and how you can, and show them your plan of how you're going to execute things. Because a lot of the times parents are just really scared and nervous for you, and they want to tell you what to do because they know that that's going to be a safe and comfortable path, and that you're going to be all right at the end of the day.
Exactly.
So when you start doing something that seems as a risk to them, they're going to try to steer you on the right path, but just because they don't know any better,
Yeah.
because they might have like only one way of thinking. So I think it's important to have that, sympathetic perspective when it comes to addressing these different things, and understanding that people are all different, and not everybody's privy to what it's like to be an entertainer, YouTuber,
Yeah.
and the opportunities that are out there. Because obviously, yeah, they are higher risk,
Yeah.
but there's potential in the space, and if you prove to people that, I mean, you shouldn't have to prove to anybody anything, but if you want to get their approval, if you want to get their support, their maximal support, you could take the time to do that, and and show them, that there is potential in this field.
Yeah. And another thing I want to say is, doesn't even, like he said, it's friends and family. So it doesn't even have to be your parents. It could be just like the people around you. Like even with me, like me saying like I'm doing it like a gaming YouTube channel. A lot of people think that's weird. They think it's like nerdy or whatever. It's like a lot of people just don't understand
Right.
the different avenues that you can go into with it. So I mean, like, you just have to be confident in yourself at the forefront, and just not let different opinions change what you want to do or what you like to do. Because I could have went a different route and did. I'm not saying that I won't do any other types of videos, but I could have did prank videos or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's more socially accepting.
Right.
But this is what I enjoy doing. So I went and did this. I said that it's like oh yeah, I do gaming videos.
Yeah.
Like, you talk to a female, you don't want to just be like, yeah, I do
Right.
gaming videos on YouTube, and a lot of them don't like gravitate towards that. But you just have to be confident in yourself, and just make sure that you don't let other people's opinions and let the social constructs, or whatever you want to call it, affect
Right.
what you find passion, what you like to do.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's so many
And
different
I
stuff
think,
yeah.
and I think that, like, you mentioned the social thing, but I feel like the social thing is subjective.
Mhm.
It changes. So like your social group right now might not, like you said, might give me that flack for like, oh, gaming, what is that? Like certain women
Yeah.
might be like, if you tell them, oh yeah, what do you do? It's like, oh, I make gaming YouTube videos.
Yeah.
They might be like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
But then you might very well find a group of people that are like, oh my god, that's so sick.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I always want to do that. So like your social setting could always change, and I always kind of preach that, do what you love,
Yeah.
and you'll find the people, and you'll naturally gravitate towards the people and find the people that have similar interests, similar mentality
Yeah.
to you.
Exactly.
And with that, you find a genuine social setting,
Yeah.
and a group of people that you genuinely can spend time with and get to know.
Yeah.
Versus trying to put yourself in a stereotypical cool social setting,
Yeah.
or like not never liking the people that are around you. Because if I always say, if you don't like the people that you work with, it's probably because you're in a job that like isn't for you.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's exceptions to everything that you say, and like there's always going to be like people, like you could have the best job in the world, but there could be people in your job that you don't like.
Yeah.
But if there's people in your job are not like you at all, like I worked at a supermarket, and these people were not like me at all. They didn't have the same drive as me. They've been saying for years that they're going to quit.
Yeah.
And I still look at them now, still at the same job 6 years later. Like, so, if you have you're in a situation where there's people that aren't around you.
Yeah.
Or there's people around you that aren't similar to you as far as your mentality. You're probably not in the most ideal place.
Yeah.
But if you find a situation where you're in somewhere where you're living your passion, living your truth,
Mhm.
Those people are going to be around you doing the exact same thing,
Mhm.
and you could definitely bond with them.
And another thing I want to put out there is, you don't want to tell everybody what you're doing, like when you're starting something up, because then that could bring in unnecessary like negative reactions. Like I said, the different opinions that people might have, because I mean, like everybody gets affected by certain things. So if you go out there and
Right.
just explain your dream to everybody before you can even make it come to fruition, do anything, put anything out, then it'll kind of hinder you because of their reactions if they're not the type of person that would support you and everything.
Right.
You just want to make sure that when you're building something up, you don't want to just like let everybody know. You want to let the people know that will back you, that love you, and will help you, instead of just giving you a critique off of nothing. Like you haven't even started yet, so you have to make sure that the people that you're sharing your dreams with, so your dreams do not get snuffed out, are good people and people that have your best interests at heart.
Right.
Yeah, that's definitely something you have to keep in mind.
Yeah, this was a good topic. I think I mean, we could go on for
Yeah,
forever about it, but I think we pretty much hit all the major points with this one. You know, just understanding that you have to follow what you want to do, try different things. It's like Gary said,
yeah,
and kind of keep up the blinders a little bit until you have gone down that path a little bit,
yeah,
and figured out what you really want.
yeah.
And yeah, so I think that pretty much wraps everything up.
That was a great sum up. I don't even gotta say anything. All right, appreciate you guys watching. Thank you to Terrence as always coming out, and yeah, so we will see you guys in the next episode. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.
Peace.